Hi everyone, so this is a little video on how to create the aura spray, and because we're working with black tourmaline and the wild orange for this month, that's the crystal and the essential oil of the month, I thought that I would use those in the aura spray. This is obviously for clearing and cleansing, and black tourmaline, you saw the properties that I wrote for that in the article that I posted, so this is a brilliant one to add into making an aura spray. So I'm going to do like a really simple one first, and then I'm going to show you how you can get a bit more creative with it if you choose to. So all you're going to need if you want a simple aura spray is you're going to need like a little jug to put the water in, and you're going to use like, you don't really want to be using tap water, although if that's all you've got, then that's what you'll have to use. But the best, like if you want to use like a filtered water, distilled water is brilliant. Or if you can, then you want some kind of sacred blessed water. So for those of you that have been to sacred sites, you could use that water, any water that's been blessed. Or if you've got a natural spring, that's a really good water to use. If you can't get blessed or water from a sacred site, then go to your local spring and use that type of water. Or if you're lucky enough to have a well or know someone that's got a well, you can use that water. But if you haven't got any of those and you've only got tap water, then that will suffice as well. I'm going to use some water that I've got from Glastonbury, from the White Springs. So you just literally pop some water in the jar or in your jug, and then you're going to need your black tourmaline. So you might have that in a tumbled, you might have it in its raw form. In its raw form, it's slightly more fragile than when it's been polished. But literally, you'll just get your black tourmaline and you're going to place it in the water. You can put 1 piece, 2 pieces, whatever, however many pieces you want. If you've got really small pieces, like little chips of it, you can actually, because you're going to put, when you've made this aura spray, you're going to put it into one of these little, you can get these in like Boots and Sainsbury's and places like that, where it's just the travel spray bottles, or you can get the slightly nicer ones which are online. This is like a blue glass one, pump spray. So if you get smaller pieces of black tourmaline that actually fit in this bottle, you can actually leave the black tourmaline in there permanently, you know, with the water. If you haven't got small pieces and you've only got larger pieces, then you're just going to pop that in there like that, and then you're going to leave that to charge for at least 24 hours. If it's a full moon, get it out in the full moon so that you can full moon charge the water as well as having the black tourmaline in there. That would be really powerful. But if not, you can just leave the crystals in there for 24 hours and it will charge the water. Then you would pour the water, take the crystals out, pour the water into your bottle, add a couple of drops of the wild orange, and then before spraying the aura, you would just shake the bottle to mix the oil and water together. Shake the bottle, spritz the aura, done. That's the simple version. If you want to get creative, there's an awful lot more that you can do with this. So like I said, you add the crystals in, you can put it under the full moon. You can also do things like, for those of you that know about Masurumoto, and you know, water is it's a clear liquid that can be imprinted with energy. And you know, if you follow Dr. Masurumoto's work, you'll know about, you know, how they've done studies where they wrote on the labels on the jar love, peace, and on another one hate, anger, and how that changed the structure of the water crystals. So what you can actually do is you can write on your jar, you could label it with love, protection, strength, confidence, that sort of thing. You can also go online and print off. I actually have, I did a lot of work with Masurumoto's, his scientific studies that are done out in Japan. They actually came over, the office actually came over to the UK a couple of years ago, and we did, I think it's probably even longer than that, time flies by. But we actually did a whole day working with them, going into the scientific studies that they've actually done, where they've even now been able to imprint DNA strands via sound. And literally they had, so like in Japan, they had a solution which could hold DNA samples. and then they did a study where they put a glass of clear fluid next to that, and it imprinted over 24 hours. So they found the DNA strand in the clear vial that had nothing in. What they then did was they broke down and found the frequency, the sound frequency that this DNA strand was giving off, and they recorded it. And then they had, what they did was they played it to their office that's in Europe, in Germany I think it is. They played it, they sent them the file, and they played this frequency to a clear vial of this liquid that can support DNA, and it actually imprinted that DNA into this vial. So it's quite amazing what they're discovering. Anyway, so what you can do is, if you don't want to just write the words, you can actually go online. If you type in Dr. Masaru Emoto, and you'll get loads of images of the water crystals that he's taken. So this one that I have on this coaster, when I'm making colloidal silver or any types of aura sprays or any sacred waters or blessed waters, I always have this underneath the container that I'm making it on. This is the water crystal for love and gratitude. So I always have that underneath. So I would literally place that on there, leave that overnight, and let that love and gratitude imprint into the water. So you can go online and just search water crystals, like Masaru Emoto water crystals, print one off, and you could stick it on or sit it underneath. The other thing I have some coasters with the flower of life on. That's another nice one to use. Again, that's going to imprint the energies in. Simple, but very powerful and effective. The other thing that you can do is, if you're into sound and you have tuning forks or singing bowls, you can actually use sound as well. So this is an angelic tuning fork that I have. It's very high. And we literally just charge the water that way. Be very careful when you're doing this. Don't touch the side of this, because you're going to shatter it. Don't go too far into it, because again you can shatter it. And just remember as well that sometimes if you're using anything that's crystal, it will definitely shatter. So you have to be very, very careful. I would never, ever, when this is playing, this is my practitioner. This is the attuned to the heart chakra, and it's 24 karat gold, and it has the heart chakra engraved on it, but it's a practitioner sound bowl. So I play it and I can, hold it over the body. I would never put another crystal near this when it's playing, because it would shatter, and I'd never play another sound near it, because that would definitely shatter it. You'd be so, so careful. So yeah, literally. And you're going to charge that water with the sound frequency of whatever tuning fork you're using. A lot of people have the Om tuning fork, or you might have the chakra tuning forks. The other thing that you can do, if you do have a singing bowl, I do have singing bowls as well as the practitioner, is that you can actually take the crystals out, remember, once the water's charged, and you can put that into your singing bowl. And so now this water has been charged with the frequency of the heart chakra, or whatever singing bowl you're using. So that water in there is no longer just simply sacred water from the White Springs in Glastonbury. This has had the black tourmaline in there. It's had the heart chakra frequency, the angelic frequency. If I leave it on one of these overnight, it's going to be imprinted with the love and gratitude, or, the flower of life. Then what I would do is, again, tip it into one of these bottles, which I can do now. Just making sure it wasn't one I've used. So I literally tip it into there. Then I add a couple of drops of oil. If it's a bottle this size, you could probably add about 4 or 5 drops. Pop that in, give it a good shake, and then literally spritz the aura. You can see how effective aura sprays are. You can see it's really good lighting actually. You can see it literally filters through the auric field. Carolyn will go a bit more into what the aura is for those of you that don't know or want to know a bit more. She'll go a bit more in depth when she does the nidra, the meditations and the yoga for clearing. But this is a really effective way of clearing the debris, our own and other people's. You know, the auric field is, it's the body that's around us. We have it's much more in depth than that. There's more layers to it, but the auric field is around us and it's this energetic field. Now, when I'm working with somebody, and obviously when I'm working with them, I have permission to be feeling into them and working with them at an energetic level. So what happens is my auric field kind of merges with theirs, and I can feel and sense and know how I need to work with them. I can feel what's going on in their body. It's how I work when I'm working with animals. I merge my auric field with theirs, and I can then feel in my own body and my own auric field what's going on with them, and it's how I communicate with the animals as well. So, but in the same respect, it's also how if we're not careful, how we pick up other people's junk and rubbish. You know, the auric field can take a real battering, especially if you've got people around you that are negative or not in a good place, or if they're bombarding you emotionally all the time. So, you know, this is a really good effective way of just clearing that. You can do it every day. The wild orange in there is going to help to uplift the spirits. So it's kind of like the yin and yang using the black tourmaline, because this is removing the negativity and those emotional blocks. This is going to uplift the spirits and make you feel positive and vibrant. So it's like yin and yang, perfect combination. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Any questions, do let me know. Otherwise, I will be in the group to support you as always. I'll see you soon.